In Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, we get to see the torpedo room of the Enterprise. Kirk boards the Enterprise via the torpedo room. The torpedoes are loaded into the launchers through the torpedo room. And Spock's funeral takes place in the torpedo room, from whence he is metaphorically buried at sea. When referring to the torpedo room, we are referring to the structure mounted low down on the neck of the ship, a couple of decks above main engineering, rather than any aft torpedo room. But how many torpedo rooms were there? Is there enough space in this particular location? In this video, we will look at this puzzle. There is on-screen evidence for two torpedo rooms side by side. Firstly, there are two torpedo launch doors on the exterior. There would have to be two torpedo tubes, as the vertical intermix chamber would get in the way if there was only one. Secondly, on the torpedo room production set, there is a sign calling the room Torp Bay 2, so there must be a Torp Bay 1. Thirdly, instead of a docking port for the external airlock, which is what we get on the port side of the torpedo room on screen, we get to starboard a longer corridor, no distinctive circular hatchway, but instead a sign, only just visible, suggesting this way for Torp Bay 1. And fourthly, Spock's funeral takes place in an undamaged torpedo room, so there must be two torpedo rooms. There are problems though with the twin torpedo room theory. Firstly, the torpedo room scene in the scene of Spock's funeral is very clearly a room with a port side airlock. Secondly, the Torp Bay 2 sign is visible. Indeed, the sign suggesting the way to Torp Bay 1 is just visible as well in the shadows to starboard. Thirdly, is the torpedo complex superstructure wide enough for not only two torpedo rooms but two airlocks? My own measurements, which I will admit are rough estimates, put the torpedo room at 8.5 meters wide and the torpedo complex exterior at 13.5 meters in width at its widest point. This is clearly not wide enough for two torpedo rooms as well as two airlocks. We would need at least 23 meters to accommodate all of these. Even without the airlocks, two torpedo rooms side by side cannot fit, although as I have said, my measurements are estimates. To conclude, we have evidence for a twin torpedo room complex on screen, but we also have evidence for a single torpedo room. Yes, there is only one inner torpedo hatch on the on-screen torpedo room set, whilst there are clearly two exterior hatches. But might there be a carrier system in place between the inner hatch and outer doors, allowing the torpedoes to be loaded, ready to fire out of the starboard and port launchers? With evidence both for and against the twin torpedo room hypothesis, it seems we might have to shrug, sit back and enjoy the film.